Hey, well, we're congratulating everyone. Cole got his new SAT scores.
Cole, what did you get?
Just like a 1250.
That's amazing. When did you get them?
A couple weeks ago.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who's B, it's your girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about My Life with the Walter Boys season 2, and let's get right into this video. So in this season, Jackie comes back from New York because Catherine comes in and she finds out that, there's needed to be a signature signed for her to go to boarding school, because when Jackie went to New York, she was trying to basically go to the same places that her and her family used to go, and that, it just didn't feel the same because they're no longer here with her. So it's just the New York that she knew and loved and raised up in, it's just not the same without her family. So she's she can't go back to the, Walter Ranch because of, her kissing Cole, and obviously her leaving Alex after he told her that he loved her, and without her saying anything at all. So she was just she has no place to go, so she thought boarding school was the best idea. Catherine basically, convinced her, come back, everybody wants you back, So she's back, first episode. Everybody except for Parker, Jordan, Alex, majority of the kids kind of was kind of sad that Jackie left without saying bye. So, especially Alex. Alex had a right to be upset because, to be honest, they were actually dating, and without a call, a text, not even anything, and a whole summer has passed and there was no communication. The only person that probably was just fine with Jackie because Danny went to New York and he actually visited her and hanged out with her during the summer, but everybody else hadn't have any trace of her while, for the entire summer. Alex comes back from his, horse, situation, summer camp, whatever. He's changed. He got a glow up. He looks mad different from season 1. Danny looks way different from season 1 because, he definitely lost weight. He had some type of hair growth. Danny, yeah, he definitely had some glow up from season 1. Was very apparent. So, basically, the first 5 episodes is basically Jackie kind of just trying to, basically make her place in Colorado, the Walters Ranch, make herself useful, essentially. So, she's saying that she's promising Parker that she's gonna try to get her license so she can, be a helping hand around the Walters Ranch. There's only, so many people who can drive, and, you have Danny who has, plays, you got Isaac in his football practice, Cole, he's now doing tutoring, studying, he's putting his education first, so he's busy with the car as well. So Jackie just okay, let me get my driver's license, focus, make herself useful. So she basically told Catherine what, I'm not made of glass, you can treat me like everybody else. But Catherine's was no, you still went through such a traumatic thing of losing your entire family and just getting picked up and left to a new city, new town, whatever. And then you have people basically making you feel unwanted, the whole running for president situation. And you got Paige basically saying oh, everybody knows everybody since they're kindergarten, and you have this newcomer here just trying to run for president, and promising a trip to Hawaii. If you don't even have money for the arts, what do you mean you have money for a trip to Hawaii? Let's be so for real right now, Paige. But anyways, that was kind of sad because it seems Jackie was literally losing the entire season. She had to raise money for the fall formal. She had to give up she didn't have to, but she gave up the last of her mother's collections of dresses. Thanks to Aaron, she saved one back that that really meshed well with Jackie, and she has at least something of her mother's to own. But she used her mom's her mom's collection to sell as vintage clothing to help raise money for the the fall formal. She basically lost the presidential junior class presidential election, and I would say that fall formal is just they did all of that to raise money, and then that as soon as the fight broke out between Cole and Dylan, oh, party over. Like, you didn't even have it in you to make this happen. But as soon as one fight, like, you should have just said, okay, Cole and Dylan gotta leave. Okay, continue the party. Like, I don't understand why the whole thing had to be shut down. Like, that was crazy. But anyways, like, basically, like, the first 5 episodes is basically that. Alex was basically on his, like, cool boy stuff. Like, he has an entourage, da-da-da-da. Basically, you know, he's acting like Cole, like, a little bit. You know, he has, like, a whole entourage of people, you know, girls following him. Basically, like, left Kylie for dead in the beginning of the season. So Kylie was just like, okay, well, if you know, her best friend, you know, that was supposed to, you know, hang out with her, even after she, like, kind of, like, almost confessed her feelings to Alex, and he basically called her one of the guys, she still wanted to hang out with him, but he basically left her for dead. So she was like, okay, well, she's just gonna keep on doing her. And then Dylan somehow shows an interest in Kylie. So then he kind of notices that, like, oh, Dylan is, like, showing an interest, like, oh, like, okay, let's talk, let's hang out again. And she's like, oh, now you have time for me? But yeah, that's you know, we're gonna get to that soon. With Jackie's situation, you know, basically wants to make herself useful on the Walter Ranch. She's trying to navigate, you know, her feelings of, because in the beginning of the season, she's jealous of Alex having an entourage, even though she did him dirty. But then, like, when Cole is getting tutored by Ruby, she's feeling some type of way. She's feeling jealous on both fronts with both of the guys. So then we get to the part of episode 6 after Fall Formal. Alex, he decided not to go. He decided to not go and basically hang out with Blake, his trainer for buck riding. So him and Blake shared a kiss, whatever. And obviously he feels like, okay, well, I still have feelings for Jackie, da-da-da-da. So he just, like, he tries to move on. He's still hung up on Jackie. Jackie, like, kind of confronts him, like, oh, why couldn't you show up to the thing that I, like, worked so hard for? And, like, he basically confessed, like, oh, he still really likes her, da-da-da-da, still, you know, cares about da-da-da-da. And then, you know, it was kind of like a little bit of an awkward situation because the barn burned down. After Jackie found Murphy, you know, he was so happy, and then basically, you know, said that he still loved her. They shared a kiss. They were basically having, like, this little, like, rendezvous kissing situation the entirety of, like, episode 6, 7. You know, 6, 7, but yeah, they had, like, this whole rendezvous situation, keeping it secret, laying low, which I'm just like, you guys already were dating out on the open in the first place, so why are we keeping it, you know, secret right now? Like, why are we keeping a secret right now? Like, it's obviously for Cole's sake, which is, like, you know, he actually kind of ate Cole up because he was just like, you know, Cole basically was, you know, took Paige from Alex because Paige cheated on, you know, Alex with Cole. And I guess he was like, oh, he didn't know that Paige and Alex were dating. So he was like, well, what are you going to say now? Because you knew him and Jackie were dating. So how are you going to kiss his girlfriend, essentially? Like, basically, Jackie cheated on Alex. So it's like with Cole. So just like, how are you going to say, oh, you didn't know that? So, like, he got to eat him up a bit. Like, you know, he really did. So he was angry at Cole for a bit, but then obviously him kind of getting back sort of kind of with Jackie, you know, situation that happens, like episode 6, 7, 8. He does, like, his buck riding situation, and, like, obviously, you know, Blake was kind of feeling some type of way, like, oh, you're gonna be a distraction. But I'm just like, he lost when she wasn't there, and then as soon as she shows up, he, like, places top 5. So I'm just like, okay, it was very much textbook, you know, rom-com situation. So after all that happens, they're like, you know, time is flying. Like, we're from the beginning of, you know, junior year to October now. So while all this is happening, Skyler and Nathan, whole storyline was going on. You know, this new guy named Zach, he was kind of like flirting with Skyler. He was flirting with Nathan, and because they're all on the newspaper situation. So, and Skyler's with Nathan. So Skyler, he like was like, you know, Nathan attention, but Nathan was still led on by Zach. So they went to that fall formal, and at that fall formal, this guy was like, oh, he wants Nathan. So and he wants to kiss Nathan, whatever. Nathan is with Skyler, he's dating Skyler or whatever, and you actually kisses him with like no like remorse that you're with Skyler. Skyler sees it and he's just like, oh, like that's crazy. Like, you know, it's one thing if he kissed Nathan, but you like willingly kiss Zach. So it was crazy. So obviously they broke up. 5 seconds after that breakup, he starts dating Zach. And then Zach's ulterior motive was basically he wanted to show Skyler that, you know, he can be, you know, PDA with it, out and proud with it, with dating somebody because of the whole situation, which I'm just like, that was such a crazy storyline. So then after all that, you know, gets shown to light, you know, Nathan's just like, oh, I was being used, but then, you know, Sky was just like, you know, because you're insecure doesn't give you the right to disrespect me. Like, you know, like, because you're insecure doesn't give you a right to do that. Like, you could have talked it out, you can communicate, but you didn't do so. So anyways, obviously after all that transpired, you know, they confessed their love, but I was just like, right now, you know, Skyler can't trust Nathan, and, you know, Nathan's feeling like foolish because he just got played and used. So that was just like, that storyline took up like maybe 5 good episodes, which was crazy work because, you know, Nathan kind of did Skyler, he did Skyler dirty. Moving on, we have another storyline with Dylan and Kylie. You know, obviously that's like kind of like an interesting, you know, storyline romance that actually progresses along the season. They actually shared their first kiss in the last episode. Obviously Alex noticed all of this is going on, and he's kind of like, you can see like, okay, well, it's kind of giving a door that, you know, if anything goes awry between Jackie and Alex kind of feels some type of way about Kylie, so therefore we can have a Kylie and Alex situation happening soon. So, with that to say that, you know, back around to this whole Cole, he's became an assistant coach because obviously he has the injury, so they wanted him to be an assistant coach for the high school, so he did. Dylan, he was kind of like, one minute you like him, one minute you don't, because one minute he's like playing in Cole's face, you know, basically calling up scouts and all that stuff, basically where Cole is the one coaching him, making him better because he's showing him all his like moves and whatnot, that because obviously he's injured now, so he's gonna show him and train him. And obviously even though they're supposed to be best friends, they're in the same grade, but you're leaving him out of situations like, okay, he can't take your spot anymore because he's injured. So I'm like, what are you so afraid of? But he kind of played in Cole's face. Cole still turned the other cheek and still was like, okay, I'm the bigger person, I'm still gonna train you, I'm gonna show you the moves so you can be ready, Anyways, he smokes, you know, marijuana at this, like, you know, situation because I think they had a fight at the party, so they had to both be on probation and, like, take up trash. He smokes marijuana. Next thing you know, they ask for a drug test. He's telling Cole to, you know, take the test for him. But I'm just like, Cole's already, like, getting a second chance. You want him to lose his second chance and get tested positive for marijuana when he's literally just trying to pick himself off the ground. Like, obviously he had his whole plan of getting to college on this football scholarship, and obviously not about academics. Now he has to pick himself up with the academics, actually work, actually do different things so he can, you know, go to college on some type of scholarship and some type of situation merit of his own. And you telling him to, like, basically waste that and take a test for him, like, hello? Which I'm just like, dude, can you be so serious right now? And then he's like, oh, I'll do it for you. But I'm like, dude, did you not play with my face a couple weeks ago? Like, you played with my face a couple weeks ago, but I'm supposed to believe you that you would take a test for me. And you know, to take a, you know, drug test for, like, let's be so for real. So anyways, he was mad at Cole for that, which was crazy. And I'm just like, that's your own consequences. But, like, he said himself that he didn't even like football like that. He's only doing that to, like, basically please his father. So anyways, when he kind of, like, you know, really took the bigger role and actually, like, you know, stand up for himself and actually be a man and take the punishment and be suspended for a couple weeks or a couple games, you know, that's when, like, you know, Kylie realized, okay, all right, you know, you doing the good stuff. So, and obviously, you know, he paid attention to Kylie. He actually really likes Kylie, so he actually kissed her at, like, some type of, like, fall festival, whatever. It was like some, like, winter fest or whatever. And, you know, that's what's going on. So while this is all happening, we have this whole Walter Ranch situation. So the ranch was basically drying out with money, so they decided to invest with Richard and basically try to collab on some type of like, guest lodge situation, but like not too big of a guest lodge, just basically like a few people coming to the ranch from time to time, nothing too crazy. But the whole situation went out of hand. We have construction, basically tearing down the ranch. Like basically all the memories that they had with the ranch is being moved. Like his great grandfather's, whatever from 100 years ago is getting moved from its original spot for this whole like basically construction situation. So like a lot of things were going on with the whole ranch. Anyways, their neighbors, Joanne, which is basically Grace's mother, they were petitioning that Catherine and George would stop the construction of the, renovations for the whole guest lodge situation. Yeah, Will wanted to be a part of something while Haley was away, so therefore he wanted to be a part of this whole situation, and he was working with Richard. But then when it was started going awry, and like their original plan was just basically going haywire, and George was just basically telling his like, concerns and doubts, and like they wanted him to like sign some backdate things. Like when you're backdating, that's not good. When Richard was like, oh, let's work on a Saturday so we can backdate these papers and I'm like, when you hear backdating, that is not good. That is not good. So I'm just like, yeah, that's what Richard was doing, and Richard was trying to like hurry up and force George to do wasn't good. And he's over here siding with Richard while your father is talking about like his generational ranch was like sacred to him. Like you can't be doing this stuff like this. So obviously Richard had a reason, because he had his money inside the investment too, money into it, because he also wanted Jackie to have a home here. So So, but other than that, I'm just like, Richard, come on now. Like, so obviously Will, he did not have, his family's back. Cause I'm just like, you're the firstborn. You know how much this ranch means to your father. And you're like, oh, let's just fix it up. Let's like get some more money having these guest ranch, like this hotel style, like, situation. So anyways, it was kind of weird for Will to be doing stuff like that. Anywho, obviously the stress that was going on for this whole guest ranch was taking a toll on George. Obviously, because in a way, like George, Jackie, he has memories of this ranch, basically ties to this ranch. Like, this ranch is a part of the family. Just like how Jackie, she had ties to New York, her family, different things like the teapot, the dresses, whatever, to her family. And then, like, when people take it away or people rip it up or, change it from the original, they feel some type of way. So that's basically like kind of like a pairing of between Jackie and George was going through. Jackie, she obviously, was able to take it on the chin and like basically like move on. Now George, we'll get to him. So with that being said, obviously, Cole in a way finds out that Alex and Jackie were like seeing each other. Because he, him and Jackie had like a plan to like help him with SAT scores and like basically be prepared for college, because he's like, oh, he had low SAT scores, there's no college or no future for him, But since Jackie helped him and like worked with him, and he got a 1250 on his SAT, he wanted to tell Jackie. Jackie was at Richard's house. She invited Alex to come over. They started, kissing, on the couch. He saw them. So for like a couple of weeks, he just iced Jackie out. Jackie was like, what's going on? I thought we were cool. I thought we were friends. And then they at the last episode, they have this little situation while the entire family's home, by the way. The entire family's home. Everybody's doing their homework, whatever they're doing. They're home. And they're having this little situation where, Cole says that he loves Jackie.
I love you, Jackie. And I thought you felt the same way, but if I'm wrong, then just say it.
I love you. Okay?
He loves Jackie, and Jackie says she loves Cole back. Mind you, Alex said that he loved Jackie. Jackie, one business day, you know, whatever. He says it again, 2 business days, and then after she like thinks about it, talks to Grace, she's like, oh, she loves Alex too. So she's like, okay, she loves Alex too. But then she said to Cole that she loves him too. But she's like, with Cole, she feels free and she feels out of control. So that means when she's with Alex, she feels like in control. She knows like how to control situations, which is like, that's not a good thing, Jackie. That's not a good thing.
Have that goal. I can't lose control.
Why?
Because I don't know what might happen if I do.
But the whole thing that gagged me was Alex was standing on the porch listening to everything, and all he says is, you love him? And then next thing you know, ambulances and whatnot coming.
You love him?
Alex.
Hey, what's going on? It's Dad.
Find out that obviously George had some type of heart attack, something up in the ranch. Obviously with all the stressors that's happening with this whole ranch, you know, recreation, stuff like that. It took a toll on George. So that's going to be a situation in season 3. But Alex hearing everything that Jackie says is like, how are we going to move from this? But obviously we have that door opening with him and Kylie. Him and Kylie are obviously going to, you know, have something, obviously, because we know, like, the real ones know it's going to be a Jackie Cole endgame situation. So the real ones know that's where it's going to head. But obviously this is very messy because you already told Alex that you love him. Now, if you didn't say you loved Alex, then that would have been like, you know, the real kicker. But you already told Alex that you loved him. He's confused why they're keeping their relationship a secret, but now he knows why, that you're keeping the secret for Cole's sake, and Cole kind of knows that you guys are together, so it's like, what are we doing here? But that whole confession is just like, whoa, what are we gonna do? Season 3, and like, that's like the last 5 minutes of episode 10 was where all the drama and everything just starts to like, oh, here's the tea. And I'm just like, wow, we're leaving season 2 on basically the kind of sort of the same cliffhanger that season 1 had with this whole Jackie Cole situation. Now, the thing is that Alex knows. It's all out in the open. Alex knows. He's privy to this. So it's like, where do we move from this? Does Alex and Jackie still want to work out and date? Or is he just going to be over it and kind of just like, okay, well, if you love him, how are we going to move on? But season 2 was very messy, to say the least. There's definitely a lot of storylines outside of the love triangle, the main love triangle. So, I mean, considering how big this cast ensemble is, like, is to be expected that there's going to be different storylines with different characters. Because, I mean, we have a big cast. I mean, outside of the Walters itself, so it's just like, you know, you got to make sense like why there's different things going on. But granted, we need to focus on this trio because this is gonna be crazy season 3. But that was season 2. I would say the last 5 minutes was basically the most important part of season 2, to be real honest. Let's see how this whole Alex Jackie Cole situation. I feel like, you know, outside of The Summer I Turned Pretty, like, you kind of feel bad for Alex because, like, Alex is not that bad at all, but you kind of know that there's something there with Cole, with Jackie, that you can really see like, okay, well, she really has some more chemistry with Cole, so therefore a Jackie Cole endgame is basically what's gonna have to happen. But anyway, guys, this was my review on season 2 of My Life with the Walter Boys, and if you guys like the video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, subscribe to my channel, subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.